Hello, my name is Brandon Harp and I'm the superintendent of Seymour Community Schools. Tonight we take a few moments to celebrate the incredible individuals who are closing one chapter and beginning another. Our 2025 retirees have dedicated their time, talent, and hearts to making a lasting impact on Seymour Community Schools. Their passion, commitment, and care have shaped generations, and their legacy will continue to echo through our halls for years to come. So please join me as we honor these outstanding educators and staff members in our 2025 Retirement Tribute video. Go Owls! Hello, I'm here with Mrs. Deb Atchison, a teacher at Jackson Elementary who has decided to retire this year. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Just a few questions for you today. How long have you been with Seymour Schools?
I started in Seymour Community Schools in 2006.
Okay.
So at that time there were no teaching positions available, so I worked as a teacher's aide for several years, and a couple of years, and then finally got a teaching position until now.
Okay, and what did you do before you were a teacher's aide then? What's your career path been?
Oh, I worked in orthodontia for years, and when we lived in California, I was a social worker for pregnant and parenting teenagers.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Okay, and that's a good segue into my next question. Why did you decide to become a teacher?
Well, a lot of it stemmed from working with those teenagers. I just felt like maybe I could make a difference had they had a little bit more support and encouragement through their early years.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So throughout your time as a teacher, what are some of the changes you've seen?
I would have to say the biggest one is technology. We've gone from, we had 4 computer stations, and now everybody has, their own Chromebook and everything.
Okay. One thing, when I think of you, one thing I think of is I know your family has a little orchard, and matter of fact, about a year ago, you gave my wife and I just a little stick, and I'm like, that's going to grow into a tree, and it has. It's grown into a fig tree. It's really awesome. So what can you tell us about the orchard? How'd you get into that and so forth?
So it actually started with someone telling my husband that good peaches could not be grown in Indiana. He took that challenge on. I think you've had our peaches before, and they're actually quite good.
Good.
So he just started with different trees, and it actually has kind of bloomed into a business. And we have a great group of customers who come and buy peaches and buy apples. We have about 6 different kinds of freestone peaches, as well as 2 or 3 kinds of apples that we sell. And last year we donated over 10% of our sales to a group called Preborn, and they offer free ultrasounds to women who are considering abortion. And they help lend support until that child is 3 years old to the mother, the father, and the baby. So through those sales that we had last year, we were able to sponsor 14 ultrasounds for 14 families that were considering abortion.
That's awesome. In all the years I've been doing these videos, we've never had a commercial during a video, and we're going to have our first one today, as I'm the spokesman for Atchison Family Orchard. Their fruit is awesome. So if you get a chance, buy some. And I didn't even know about sponsoring that center. So that's really great to hear.
Great.
All right, another question for you, kind of unique about you. I know you had the opportunity to decorate the White House for Christmas. How did that come about? What was that like?
Well, so I had actually applied for 4 different years. And finally in October of 2020, I received an email and said that I had been chosen. It kind of goes by a credit system, sort of, like my husband is a veteran, so that got me some points. I work at a Title I school, so that got me some points. And then with the points, then you send a nice cover letter, and the points add up, and then they choose from there. So out of about 1,500 people, I think that then I was chosen as one of the 120 because that was COVID year.
Oh.
And so I was chosen, and so I flew out to Washington, D.C. on Thanksgiving Day and decorated the White House and came back the next week. In between time, had a nice reception with Melania Trump.
Oh.
And so it was quite an experience.
That's really cool. What are your plans for retirement?
We we'll be busy this summer with traveling to Greece as well as our orchard, and then in September we will be welcoming our first grandbaby.
Oh, congratulations!
Yes, thank you.
That's great to hear. Well, on behalf of the students and staff of Seymour Schools, thank you for all your service and everything you've done, and best of luck in retirement.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Go Owls.
My name is Pat Blevins. I've worked for the school for almost 28 years. I've enjoyed being around the kids. I love kids. I have kids myself. I got great grandkids. So it's in a different experience, but they make your day sometimes. So favorite memories of this place is working with good people. The staff, the kids, the staff, they've been good to me, and I appreciate them very much for their hard work. And the school itself, I appreciate working for the Seymour Community Schools. They've been great. They've come to my rescue many a times, and I just appreciate everybody. Thank you.
I am joined today by Assistant Superintendent Lisa Ferguson, and actually we're in her office today. She's invited me to film her interview in her office today, and we're going to get to a lot of these goodies in the background in just a little bit. So Lisa, thank you for joining me today.
All right, thanks, Brandon.
When I think of you, I believe you came in '98 to Seymour Schools to Emerson. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Started at Emerson.
Okay, and I came in '99 as a teacher at Seymour High School, so I knew of you at that point. But then when I got into administration and you had other administrative roles, we got to know each other a little bit better. And then the last 9 years, you've been my number one partner. I mean, we work hand in hand on everything, and year round. We don't even get the summers off. So that is a long way around to. Let's start off with your career in education. What does that look like?
I started as a teacher. I was a second grade teacher at Medora, and wasn't very long. I have a pretty quick changeover. I became a third grade teacher, and then I was principal there. Left to go to Lanesville. Came back through West Washington, and then finally I was at Seymour. And when I got to Seymour, right here, I'm gonna tell you because I'm gonna walk around my interview. This is the outfit that I wore when I interviewed at Emerson. I remember when I told people around town that I was going to apply at Emerson, they actually laughed at me and said, "You don't have a chance." And I said, well, one thing they'll remember me, and I always have a theme, and my theme was bees, because I believed, and I wore this outfit, almost everything I wear, I like to have a little sparkle with it. And I was telling Brandon before we started filming, I made these little cards for the people who were on the interview committee, which was Dave Thompson, he was one of them, and I said, even before, you remember when we had Jimmy Casas here, he said, when you sit in that interview chair, do you live up to it? Well, this is what I was telling people back when I came to Emerson I was going to do. I was going to strive for excellence. Hey, I was on to excellence before we got there. And we all must be responsible for our actions. I believe all children can learn, and I will be flexible, creative, and child-centered. So I think I have lived up to my promises when I first came to Emerson. And the other thing, I don't know how many name tags people have here, but at Seymour, I have a name tag for principal at Emerson. I have a name tag for federal programs and public relations. Now, I don't know what I did in public relations because there never was a budget for that, but Director of Curriculum and Instruction. I don't know if there's somebody's got more jobs they've done, and Assistant Superintendent. Now, over there I have a bag of extras of these because I lose them from time to time, and I've had to order other ones. So these are all my jobs while I've been here. I wear a lot of hats when I've been here, so as you talk about things, I might pull out a hat to demonstrate that. So.
Okay, awesome. So
Yes.
you really got on how you started. I'm going to skip way ahead to sort of how it's wrapping up, and you've referred to this year as your senior year quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Explain that to us. How'd that come to be, and what has that been like?
Well, ever since I was 5 years old, started out at Jackson Elementary with Mrs. Winton. In fact, when I got the job at Emerson, a lady walked in and she said that she had kept track of me over my career and that she was proud to have been my kindergarten teacher. Billy Winton walked into Emerson, and I think that's just a testament to how Seymour does care about their people, because I was a kindergarten kid and here I was as an adult taking a principal job, and she remembered me and she came. Now, I will say Mrs. Winton, I think, is a lot like me. She likes to keep the history of things. Like, she likes to capture that, and I save everything. So people out there, if you've ever done anything, I have a record of it. So, and what was your question?
Tell us about your senior year.
Oh, my senior year,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, the reason I thought it was my senior year is because when I started, I've never not been in school. I went through high school, then through college, and I've just been in school this whole time. So this is really a graduation, because come July 31st, I will not be in school anymore. So this year I've been accumulating things. You can see in my museum Olisa here, some of these things. To start off the year, the administrative team gave me a senior jacket, which this is my prized possession. I got it on a holder, like a mannequin type thing, and I will keep this one forever. I was at a sale, and I was able to get this 1940s letter sweater. And I'm going to leave this in this display case for the school. And I've just hunted artifacts throughout this. I was at a sale and I found a senior key, so I have it. It's a Seymour. I don't know that we still do senior keys, but that was something that we did. So moving on through other things here in a little bit. Before we end, I'm gonna graduate during our interview, so I'll do that at the end. But
Can't wait for that.
I know. So it's been fun and I painted my parking place and all that kind of stuff.
So you've always been an outside the box thinker, and you've done a lot of fun things, a lot of productive things in your career, and a lot of projects. One that I think of. You organized our entire staff one time on the front lawn of a school to get a picture.
Yes.
What can you tell us about that day?
Yes. Well, let me get a hat for this. Okay. I have always marched to a different drum. And that particular day, I decided, we just come up, worked on branding, and we did a lot of things with that. And I decided that we would get everybody in the front lawn and they would stand together in a common shirt and we would say this thing. And we're out there and we get the picture taken, and all of a sudden somebody says, wait, that's misspelled. And instead of opportunities, I put opportunites. And I had read that thing 500 times, and I cried to the t-shirt guy, and it was just this, and I wanted to gather up all those shirts and throw them away, but some have survived over time. So, I put together all my clippings earlier, and they were up on the wall, and one of the things I had on there, I had opportunites on there, and I found a headline in the newspaper that said, "Get over it," but I've not gotten over that yet. So when there's a mistake, it drives me nuts.
And Lisa's always been fun to tease with, and that's why I bring that up. 'Cause she's a good sport, and and the ironic thing is she is one of our best writers and speakers, and many of the things that we send out, we send through Lisa to double check. So it was just very ironic that happened.
Yes.
And I still have my shirt, and I will not let go of
Yes.
that.
My
So-
mom came out wearing that shirt, and I said, Mom, why do you have that on? And she had bought it from Lita in a yard sale.
That's great.
Yes, so it haunts me.
So just last week, Lisa organized a meeting for us with Katie Jenner, Dr. Katie Jenner. She's the superintendent of public education for Indiana. It was a great meeting. It was, very informative and those kind of things. So my question for you, Lisa, is this: if you were the state superintendent of instruction, what is one thing that you would change?
One thing that I would change, well, there are so many, but what I'm going to land on is that I would stop futzing around with all the multiple testing and those kinds of things, and I think that I would funnel the money that the state does have to our staff so that we could bring more people on to serve students. I would also, one of the things Katie Jenner told us was that she's more involved in preparing teachers, and I think that taking some time to make sure that teachers have the type of preparation that they need to work in schools today, because there are a lot of needs, and helping them be prepared would be a very important thing, I think.
Okay, great answer. All right, so here's the toughest question of the day.
All right.
And those of you who know Lisa well will understand why. If you could only have one condiment, are you choosing butter or ketchup?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to choose ketchup because ketchup goes on everything. But that is because I'm gonna tell you, this is an inside joke. We always, at the end of the year, there are a lot of dinners, recognitions, those kinds of things at the Pines. And if you've ever been there, they set up a nice table, and for a normal person, they have, a couple of little butter packets for you. Well, that's not enough for me. And I like real butter, not margarine. So I started bringing my own butter to the dinners. And I can remember Diane Altemeyer, her husband has never gotten over that. Like, did she really pull butter out of her purse? Yes, I did. I put butter on the table. So.
And she eats a lot of ketchup, and she's a ketchup snob.
Yes,
It has to
I
be
am.
a certain kind.
Heinz ketchup, or just move on.
Yeah. So Lisa didn't know the questions that I was going to ask her today, and all of her stuff is actually a perfect setup for my last question, and that Lisa has collected things like unique things, and they always seem to come from unique places. It's almost like you might have been the original American picker.
Yes.
How does one get involved in picking?
Well, I'm gonna say, like over here, if we look at the museum, one of the things that, if you've known me for very long, I wear a pin, right? Well, the very first pin that I ever wore is right here. Now, how I know that, I don't know, but I do. And this was from my grandma. And she gave it to me because when she taught school, she would wear a little animal pin. Well, I wore it to school, and the kids really liked it. And as soon as I saw that, a collection was started. And I can't even tell you how many collections. One of the things, like I said, I was leaving my letter sweater, and I've got another letter sweater down here, but all of the collecting starts because memories are important, and you want to capture them. So that's why all these years, like I've got a box over there that's full of stuff, and I've got stuff from West Washington, Lanesville, Emerson. I've got my pin, we gave these out at Emerson. I even have the very first pin that Dave Thompson gave me the very first time I met him. He used to hand these dudes out. Everything that I own, well, even from high school, I might save a gum wrapper from something, that we had. But, capturing those memories so that they don't disappear, or that little bit of history, I think that's what picking is about, because you see something, it connects to a memory that you have or something that happened in your life, and then you want to keep it, you want to preserve it, you want to make it better. And I think that's why I save all of these things. But these all have been favorites of mine. This big spider has always been a very popular. People seem to be freaked out by that. Sean, I don't know if you can get this one, but there are certain specialty pins that I have. And I don't think you could think of it. I bet I have 10,000 pins. I don't think you could think of an occasion that I don't have a pin for. And this is very classy, but if you're being contrary, you might see me wear that pin around you. So, and I have my countdown here. I got 83 days as of this filming.
We even on Lisa Ferguson Day this year, her daughters, Katie and Lindsay, raided her pin storage and brought them in, and we all wore a pin one day. That was kind of neat.
Yeah. So stuff's everywhere. Yeah.
Anything else you want to cover?
Well, before we go, okay. So now this is my official graduation.
So Lisa Eglin Ferguson, I now declare you a graduate of Seymour Schools.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You may now flip your tassel. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. We as a corporation would like to honor someone whose hard work and dedication has meant a lot to many. That someone is Doug Fish, who is retiring after an incredible 30 years behind the wheel. Doug was not just a bus driver, he's a dedicated farmer from Cortland. Oftentimes, he spent many hours in the field before heading out to ensure our students got to their destinations safely and on time. For 3 decades, Doug has safely driven our students to and from school. Even in heavy rain, fog, or snow, we knew that we could count on him. He was always on time and dependable. So Doug, we want to thank you for your early mornings, long days, and dedication to this job. You've served your community well. Congratulations on an incredible 30 years.
I'm joined here today by Steve Grant. Steve's been the head of our maintenance department for several years, does a great job for us, and unfortunately has announced his retirement. He's been on the countdown for how long?
2 years.
About 2 years. Every time I would see Steve, he's always happy, he's always fun to work with, but he could always tell you exactly how much time he had left. So I always enjoyed talking to Steve about that. Steve, how long have you been in maintenance for the school system?
Since December of '88, which made it 89 because they didn't hire me in until '89 of January.
88, 89, wow. What'd you do before that?
I worked at Thompson Dairy for 10 years, and they sold out, and I had to find someplace else to go because I wasn't going to work on a milk truck.
Yeah. So obviously since 88, 89, since that time, there have been a whole lot of projects completed here at Seymour Schools. What are some of the projects you're most proud of that you worked on?
The 95 renovation of the high school was the first one. After that, Cortland, and then Brown, and then they've redone Brown again. So just all the renovations they've done in the last 36 years I've been part of.
Yeah, there's been a lot of it. What does a typical day look like for you in your job?
Depends on how many people call in, how many, let's see, how many people are too cold, too hot. You just don't know. It's from one day to the next. And when you have a difference in heat one morning and the afternoon's 75 and the morning is 40, you have all those calls. And it just keeps going. It will never stop.
So over all these years in your job that you've worked here, what are some of the biggest changes you've seen in your job?
The biggest change is we went from no air conditioning when I started, except for the high school 300 building. That's all it was air conditioned, and that was it. That's all the air conditioning we had. And then the first renovation that they had, which was Emerson School, and that all came about. And then all the elementaries had to have air conditioning. So they went through one room at a time and put those in. And we had contractors who were coming in, wasn't doing it the way I wished. But my boss said, they know what they're doing. I said, okay, you're going to have problems in 5 years. 5 years later, we had started having problems. But other than that, I haven't had any problems.
So what are your plans for retirement?
Plans? Nah. I think I'm going to go on a trip, I think. July the 31st, I think we'll be going to London. It'll be my second time back there, but that's my retirement trip for 12 days. Some friends of ours had an extra room, and so, hey, we're going, no matter what.
Awesome.
But other than that, we're probably going to build a house at the lake and a barn, pole barn down there.
Good for you. Well, Steve, on behalf of the students and staff of Seymour Schools, we appreciate everything you've done, and congratulations and best of luck in retirement.
All right, thank you.
All right. Good job.
It is my privilege to celebrate the retirement of Linda Heine. In a way, this is Linda's second retirement because she came to Seymour Community Schools at a point in her life when most people would retire and started a whole new career with us spanning the last 15 years. In that time, Linda has worked with us at Emerson Elementary, Reading Elementary, and Seymour Middle School. That flexibility is something I have always admired in Linda. She's always been willing to pitch in and love kids anywhere we've needed a helping hand. When I think about Linda's retirement, I know for me personally, I'm going to miss her hugs. I'm going to miss hearing about her vacation plans, and all of us are going to miss her stable dependability and her strong work ethic. But we are so happy for Linda to have this time to spend with her grandchildren and to focus on things that bring her joy. Linda, thank you for spending some of your golden years with us at Seymour Community Schools. We wish you the very best in retirement.
I am here tonight to honor Tom Giray. Tom started working for us back in May of '09 and has 16 years experience driving a school bus. He also did a lot of other things around the school, and for 10 years he worked in buildings and grounds delivering mail and supplies. Most of you seen him in and out of the buildings on multiple occasions. He also did maintenance projects, painting over the summer, drywall, a lot of things. When he was driving a bus, he was transporting students from Brown, Jackson, SIS, SHS, plus all the other schools. He just didn't go there. He transported approximately 150 students to and from school each day. Tom was always ready to jump in and help out wherever he was needed. Tom's plans are to build his house, which that's what he's doing today, and do a lot of fishing in his retirement years. I have to mention one thing about Tom. He is the only person I've had to call animal control on because of his love for animals. And if you would like to know more about it, feel free to talk with Tom. Tom Giray.
Well, what's going on, Seymour Community Schools? We are coming from Seymour High School. My name is Mr. Bush. I'm the principal here. And to my left, your right, is Mr. Aaron Floyd, assistant principal, and two of our very special guests from Seymour High School, retirees Joe and Annetta Krebs. First things first, congratulations to both of you. Joe, how many years did you serve Seymour Community Schools?
It'll be 33 years in June.
33 years. And for the majority of that time, were you here at Seymour High School at the gymnasium?
Yes.
The Lloyd Scott Gymnasium, the Joe Krebs Gymnasium. And then Annetta, you came to us just recently. How many years ago?
I think I've been here two and a half.
Okay.
But I was at the sixth grade center when it was still a sixth grade center.
Okay. So
I came over. So 5 altogether.
5 years altogether. Well,
Yes.
we are glad to have you at the end of your career. And so what's next for the two of you guys going out together?
I don't know. I'm kind of at the point in life where have I lived half my life yet or not? So maybe I'll start another career. I don't know.
Okay. Well, we have plenty of applications available on the Seymour Community Schools website if education is something you're interested in on that new venture that you're heading to. Annetta, how about you? Besides starting a new opportunity with Joe, what are you going to do?
Well, we'll be truthful. He keeps wanting to buy a trike, and so we can get back out on the road because his Yamaha's getting to be not old, it's too big.
Okay. This is where I defer to you.
Yeah,
They're speaking a language that I don't speak right now.
That you actually answered our question, was what was going to be a hobby that you hope to pursue. So it sounds like you're hoping to hit the open road and get you maybe a Honda Goldwing trike or something like there that's nice and comfortable. It's got that comfortable seat to cruise and have a nice long trip. But as you look ahead and you're leaving behind a lot of colleagues that you've gotten to know over the years, what would be some words of wisdom that you would like to share with maybe some of your coworkers or colleagues as you prepare for a new chapter?
Never let someone say you can't do something.
I like it.
Because you can. You miss a lot of opportunities if you don't keep your eyes out there.
Well said. Joe, same question.
Ditto.
Ditto.
He's a man that's learned very well, and I can take it to you.
I'm gonna miss our long talks, Joe.
Yeah.
But I
see that.
on behalf of Seymour High School, Seymour Community Schools, thank you guys so much. We are gonna miss you. Don't be strangers. You know where to find us. That Jim's always looking for visitors, right? So come on back anytime and enjoy your retirement and keep us posted on those adventures on the trike.
I hope to see you on opposite ends of the road, and we could give the old motorcycle wave as we're crossing each other. There you go.
Yep. I'll send it out of my Nissan as well. So on behalf of the Owls, we wrap these up with Go Owls.
Hi, my name is Kurt Newkirk. Worked for the Seymour Schools for 35 years. I've enjoyed my time here. Friends, got to know a lot of people. A lot of friendships have been made. Pat here has been with me for 28 years. Is that right? Yeah, 28 years. We both worked together, formed a great team here at the school. I've got a new man that's taking my spot, and I'm sure he's going to do wonderful in the next 20, 25, 35 years. He will be here and totally enjoying everything. A person has bought a mug for me, and I take it to heart. It's a beautiful mug right now. I'm enjoying my coffee. I've always enjoyed my coffee. And thank you for everything that you guys have done for me. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm here today with Linda Proffer, and she's been here with Emerson for about, 10 1/4 years?
Yeah, over 10.
Over 10 years. And I got to hire her back in the day. She helped us out with some large class sizes we've had, and then we've kind of used her in a variety of classrooms. But first grade's kind of been where you've landed, helping with our younger ones.
Well, I think the last 5 years.
Yeah, helping out with down there. Been a close right hand for Mrs. Thompson down there in first grade. So tell us what you're going to do in retirement. Any home projects or traveling?
Oh yeah, I'm going to be busy. My husband has retired from his job, so we are going to travel. We're going to start in Europe this summer and visit some kids in New York, and then go back to Europe for about 3 months.
That's what I thought. It was going to be an extended trip. Are you staying in one place for those 3 months?
No,
or?
we're bouncing around lots of places.
I love it. Do you like staying at hotels around, or are you renting like
Airbnbs and things like that? Yeah.
What a great trip. What a great way to spend your retirement. What are some like lessons learned that you've had down with all the kids here?
Something that stands out to me, learning, working in a school, which I did not go to school to help in class. I was in the healthcare field.
Yeah.
So this was kind of a surprise transition from staying home with my kids.
Yeah.
So the difference seeing it in the school versus being a parent, I feel very strongly that it truly does take a village.
Oh my gosh, yes.
To teach, not only to raise a kid, but to teach a child.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just been really amazed and happy to have been a part of that here at Emerson, and have had so much some many great experiences teaching and helping with all the teachers here at Emerson. And
And I know they have really enjoyed having you. We're going to really miss you. And when you said that about what you did before, I always am just so proud to say that you're a veteran as well.
Yeah.
So that's a great. Now you're a medic in the.
I was actually a dietitian.
Okay.
In the Air Force.
In the Air Force. I think that's a great career too. I love it, especially that we've got a woman who has had a veteran's degree back there. But I'm so glad she got to come and be here at school with us and has been such a blessing for all the students. So we wish you well in your retirement, and we'll love to have you come back and visit or sub for us at any time.
I think I would.
Well, we would love that. Well, good luck in your
Welcome.
retirement. Hello, everyone. I'm here with Julie Putman. She is retiring this year from Emerson. She's been an instructional aide with us here for quite a while. And I actually have had the privilege of getting to hire her twice. She was, well, way back in the day, she was an aide with me over at Reading when I was the principal over there back long time ago. And then here at Emerson, I've got to hire her twice. And she's been in her career with 11 years with Seymour Schools. Julie, what can you tell me about some of the lessons you've learned here?
Well, I've learned patience. That's my main thing, that I've learned patience and just to love all the kids. Just here for them. I'm like their second mom.
You are like a second. I mean, we all are. I mean, we spend so much time with them. So Julie, can you tell me about some of your travel destinations and where you're going to travel in the future?
Well, we plan on traveling a lot. We plan on taking our RV, and we want to hit all 50 states, not in the RV in Alaska and Hawaii, of course. But that's our plan, is we want to take as much time as we can camping and traveling.
That's awesome. And you have had some really great trips already.
Yes.
You've been to Ireland. Where else have you been?
I've been to Scotland. I've been to Belgium. I've been to Germany. So I'm
Wow.
going to take some of those trips too. But
Yeah,
I usually
great
take
trips.
those with a friend.
And Dennis is retiring at the same time,
Yeah,
right?
Dennis is going to retire in July. He's been with Ison for 37 years.
Yeah, so you get to go retire
Yep.
together. What a
We're-
great
yep,
time.
We're retiring together.
Well, Julie, it's been great working with you. We're definitely going to miss you. And I am so glad I got to hire you twice. And I'd hire you a third time if you decide to come out of retirement.
Maybe I'll sub.
Maybe you'll sub. Let's put you on the list.
Okay.
Thank you, Julie, and good luck in your retirement.
All right. Today we're joined by Mrs. Barb Shuley. Barb is a longtime speech language pathologist for the Seymour School Corporation. We're happy to have her today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, let's just jump right in, if you don't mind. Tell us a little bit about your career and how you got interested in being an SLP.
Well, I can remember when I was in elementary school, Mrs. Daniels would take these kids out, and I always wished I could go with her. I really never knew what she was doing till later on, and then I thought, that would be something I'd like to do.
So, throughout your career, how many years have you been a SLP for us?
42.
42 years. That's awesome. That's impressive. What kind of changes have you seen in education throughout those 42 years?
Probably the biggest change has been technology, the things that have come across. We used to handwrite IEPs, and now they're all computerized, and just copying machines and the instant communication with everybody. And the children have changed also.
I can attest to that. So being an SLP, it's become a hard to fill position for us. What advice would you give an incoming SLP who's new to the profession and new to education?
It's very enjoyable. There's a lot of, as with any job, there's going to be rough times, but for the most part, being with the kids is very rewarding, and you get to be with your children if you have children and have the same type of schedule.
Okay. We've been honored at Seymour Schools to have two Shuleys over the years. We had your husband, Rick, a few years ago. We interviewed him when he retired, and I know he's really big into barbecue making and cooking and all that. So my question to you is, what's your favorite Shubicue sauce or food or that he makes?
My favorite food is his pulled pork, and the sauce is his Shubicue barbecue red sauce.
I would agree with both of those. I'm on board for those. What are your plans for retirement?
We don't have a whole lot really planned at this point. We are going to have a new granddaughter this summer, so I'm sure a lot of time will be spent helping take care of her and our other granddaughter.
Awesome. Congratulations on that. Well, thank you for joining us today, and on behalf of the students and staff of Seymour, thank you for your service, and have a great retirement.
Thank you.
I'm happy to be joined today by Mr. Dave Stark. He's our Director of Facilities and Grounds, and has announced his retirement at the end of this upcoming year, and has agreed to sit down with me for a few minutes and talk about his career with Seymour Schools. You know, one thing, Mr. Stark, I know you're an SHS grad, and not everybody I interview is a Seymour High School grad. So, just a quick question: how have school changed since you were a Seymour High School grad to now?
Well, obviously, you know, I graduated in '72, so there's been a few changes there, and most recently, the construction program we had out there, the additions and renovations, and just changed the whole feel of the campus. And I think the programs, the athletics, I mean, everything has changed. I think Seymour Community Schools done a good job of being progressive, and I was in band back in my day, and that was an important part. So I was glad to see the band department develop and move on forward. And so yeah, there's been a lot of changes. Yeah.
Good. How about your career path? Tell us a little bit about maybe what you did before you came to Seymour Schools and when you came and those sort of things.
Okay, so graduated, like I said, in '72, went to Purdue, got my undergraduate there and graduated in '76. '75, I got married to Tina Marie Stark Daniels, and that was a good time. We were both in band, that's where we met, and so we were high school sweethearts, I guess, and that just worked for us for all this time. But I went to Purdue and worked, got my degree there, then came back home, and then eventually wound up back at Purdue, and I worked for the physical plant up there for 4 years while she was going back and finishing her undergraduate degree. We had one son, our oldest son, David, was with us, and Amanda was born in Lafayette up there. So, so I've been involved with the physical plant. Actually, I've had 3 different jobs with them on the grounds up there at Purdue in a horticultural role field, if you would. Then we came back home after we got done there and wasn't quite settled in yet. So we took a journey to University of Houston. And we were down there for 6 months. I was the assistant superintendent of grounds down there, and fortunate to meet a lot of new people and a lot of new cultures. So it was a great learning experience for me and for us. Big city, didn't like the big city environment necessarily. Good things and bad things, but yeah, overall it was a good experience. And wound up back in Seymour, and Tina and I decided, well, if we're going to raise our family, we need to settle in someplace, and we decided Seymour was a place to be. Had a little bit of background in maintenance of apartments and construction work. Along the way, I worked for the city of Seymour. I was the building commissioner for several years there. Had to learn building codes and those types of things. And then moved on to the director of public works, where I was there for, altogether with the city, I was there for 15 years. Felt really blessed to have that opportunity to work for the community, doing good things and changing programs and adding programs for our community. And so from there, then it came over here to Seymour Community Schools and been here for 21 years now.
21 years.
Yeah.
So during that, I heard you say the P word, Purdue. And as an Indiana guy, and you and I have known each other for years and razzed each other about the IU-Purdue rivalry. Anything else you want to add about your connection to Purdue?
Well, of course, it's near and dear to my heart. Went to school there, worked there, got family memories there. You know, Slater Hill, you know, when my school days were going, we'd borrow a cafeteria tray and go over and sled down the hills, and you know, the things young kids do, those types of things. So, but just a lot of good memories up there. It's kind of our second home, if you will, for Tina and I and the kids. So, yeah, it's been a really good time. And like you say, we have a good time back and forth with the Purdue-IU rivalry, and I love it. And I root for IU when they're not playing Purdue. So we'll go from there.
Good stuff. So 21 years at Seymour, been a lot of projects, a lot of construction, a lot of different things. What are maybe a couple of those projects you're really proud of?
Well, I think the high school project is here recently. I mean, it's just tremendous. The square footage it added and options it added. The cafeteria was needed for many, many years. The expansion, so we could handle that. The music and choir expansions, those were needed. I mean, I'd go down in the old band room and sit, and I'm thinking, that's the same room, same stuff as what I had when I was there back in '72. So it was way past time to get that done. I think the Ag Science Building's another project that was really significant for the Seymour schools. Opens up a lot of doors for our students in other areas, welding, agricultural, landscaping, and food services, and those types of things. I think that was good. But looking back over the years, I was sitting there thinking last night, I think we've touched every school in one way, shape, or the other. Except for the possible Reading and Jackson, since they were the new schools at that time. Now they're 21 years old, of course. We didn't do a whole lot there, but we have even touched them some. But every school has had either an addition, renovation, new lighting, or some type of thing. So it's been a good time. Had good people to work with. Mr. Nallman was with me on a lot of those projects. Mr. Hooker and you also involved with that. So it's been a good journey.
What are your plans for retirement?
Well, I get to ask that a lot, and I said, for the last 36 years, if you count the city and the school together, I've been doing lots of things for lots of people on their time frame. So I think Tina and I are going to do things that we want to do on our list on our time frame. And I think this past weekend might have been an example of that. Got up Saturday morning, took it easy, had some breakfast, and I went down to Camp Lewis Ernst and participated in a scouting type of event down there to help fundraise for them. And then we went on down to Madison, kind of eased on down, had some lunch, and so it's going to be some probably day trips. We don't have any big bucket list type thing going on, or where we're going. I like my own bed at night,
Yeah, right.
But we'll do those types of things, and I've got plenty of little projects around the house I need to work on too, and so we'll just take it easy and kind of been living that. I mean, I've always enjoyed my job. I like feeling relevant, and I like feeling that I'm doing something good for the corporation or the community or both most of the time. So I've enjoyed the ride. It's been good.
Good. So I heard you mention scouting. Let's drill into that a little bit. What's your connection with Scouts? What's your rank? Some of those things.
Okay. Yeah, we got involved with Scout back with the First Baptist Church. That was the Troop 2. It's now, I think, Troop 502, but got started there at ground level and worked with Waldo Ace Judkins, who was my Scout master, and actually his wife was my 5th grade teacher at Lincoln School. So we had a double connection there, but worked through that program, and I earned all my merit badges needed, and I'm actually an Eagle Scout, proud of that. I have that hanging in my office just as a reminder of an accomplishment, but also expectations for myself and for others around me to live a good life. So,
excellent, good. Anything else you want to mention?
Well, I do want to mention that this year, my head majorette, when I was actually a drum major. I don't know if you knew that or not, but I met my wife Tina in band, and this is going to be our 50th wedding anniversary. So we're excited about that, and I've still got to work out some plans on that to get prepared for that. So, but she's been a great supporter of me for all this time, and just how it is. Got a good partner.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
congratulations, 50 years.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, on behalf of the students and staff of Seymour Schools, we want to thank you for your service and congratulate you on your retirement.
Well, thank you, and thank you for your time.
Okay. Go Owls.
So at the ending of this conversation and ending of the school year, ending of our retirement years coming up, I'm going to play a little song. I love the harmonicas, and I play quite a few songs in the mornings. Here's an ending.